Hi, welcome to practice. I'm Casey and this is May. She is here. Today we're continuing along with our Yin Yoga for the Enneagram, the Yinneagram series. We're going to be doing Type 9, the Peacemaker or Wallflower, and this is our final type in this series. We've done types 1 through 9. If you are new around here, they're all on the channel. Today is our 60-minute video. Next week, I will release a 25-minute video. If you're new here, if that information is kind of new to you, that I release 2 per Enneagram type, I discuss all of that in the intro to the series video on my channel page. I would just suggest watching that at some point as I go into a lot more things about the Enneagram than I do in these videos. The passion or sin of the Enneagram Type 9 is sloth. Unlike a lot of the other Enneagram types that we've done, today's practice isn't chosen because of the passion. The Type 9 on the Enneagram symbol sits atop, which is kind of because they can relate to all the other types, being that they are peacemakers, but also because a Type 9 tends to morph or merge with the people closest to them. Because of this, today's practice is a full body, head to toe Yin Yoga practice. Props that I would suggest bringing along are a blanket and a bolster. If you don't have a bolster, just a bedroom pillow or 2 couch cushions. We're kind of looking for length. Also position yourself so you're a little bit close to a wall because we will be doing legs up a wall at the end of practice. If you haven't already subscribed to my channel, please do so. If you enjoy these videos, give them a thumbs up and click the bell for notifications when I upload new videos. If you're ready for practice, please meet me back here in a comfortable seat and let's jump right in. For all the folds in this practice, I will be sitting up on a blanket to deepen the tilt of the pelvis. If you'd like to join me in this modification, sit up on a folded blanket. From a seated position, place the soles of your feet together. The distance from heel to groin is up to you. Begin to fold over, either staying on your hands, forearms, or come to the floor. In Yin, because we are gently holding postures for a good length of time, your spine can be rounded if that feels comfortable in your body. If a rounded back is not comfortable, sit straight up and hinge until your back starts to round. Back out a bit and hold there. Remember, you can take modifications using props if you would like. Maybe place blankets under the knees or fold down onto a pillow. One thing to note about the Enneagram is that a person is their type but can behave differently when in a healthy, average, or unhealthy range. A 9 in the average health range will fear conflicts, so they become self-effacing and accommodating, idealizing others and going along with their wishes. They will say yes to things they do not really want to do. They may minimize problems to appease others and to have peace. Stubborn, fatalistic, and resigned, as if nothing could be done to change anything. Unhealthy 9s can be highly repressed, undeveloped, and ineffectual. They feel incapable of facing problems, becoming obstinate, dissociating self from all conflicts. A healthy 9, however, is deeply receptive, accepting, unself-conscious,
emotionally stable, serene, innocent, and simple, patient, unpretentious, good-natured, genuinely nice people. Slowly bring the torso up. Using your hands, close the knees. Come to a tabletop position, shoulders over wrists, hips over knees. Slide your right knee to your right wrist, keeping the right foot around the left knee. Inch the right ankle towards the left wrist. Allow the left leg to sink back behind you. Feel into your body to find a comfortable swan shape. If the hips are far off the floor, place a prop under the right buttock. Mindfully fold over. You may stay on the palms or move to forearms or the floor. Don't forget you can always place a pillow under your torso. The deadly sin or passion of the Type 9 is sloth. The sloth of nines is more spiritual and mental than physical in nature. In her book, Enneagram, Hannah Posh calls the nine's sin apathy instead of sloth. Nines are disconnected from the passion and motivational forces necessary to engage in life. To tap into that fire and drive, a nine would upset their general equilibrium, which is what nines covet and strive to maintain. They tend to cling to the status quo and sleep to their desires and dreams, thus, metaphorically, sleep through their own life. Gently bring your torso up. Shift your weight to the right hip. Then bring your left leg out long in front of you. Bring the right foot to the inside of the left thigh. Sit up on a blanket if you are using one today. Inhale. Exhale, fold over the left leg. Remember, this is not about how far you can get your nose to your leg. This is about feeling a sensation that is interesting in your body. A general rule of thumb for folds is to bend the knee if you want to get into the low back. Straighten the knee to get into the hamstrings. In her book, The Enneagram, Helen Palmer writes, "The habitual preoccupations of the nines include replacement of essential needs with inessential substitutes. The most important things are left to the end of the day. Trouble with decisions. Do I agree or disagree? Do I want to be here or don't I? Acting through habit and by repeating familiar solutions. Ritualism. Difficulty in saying no. Containment of physical energy and anger. Control through stubbornness and passive aggression. A way of paying attention that reflects other people's positions, which can lead to difficulty in maintaining a personal position, but also the development of a marked ability to sense others' inner experience, similar to point 2, the giver." Come on back up. Let both legs go long in front of you. Plant the palms behind you like kickstands and do some windshield wiper motions with your feet, or bend the knees and do the wiper movements. Come to a tabletop position. Slide your left knee to your left wrist, keeping the left foot around the right knee. Inch the left ankle towards the right wrist. Allow the right leg to sink back behind you. Remember to take whatever modifications feel right on this side, which may be different than the right side. Fold to whatever depth feels good. Each Enneagram type corresponds directly with 3 other types: your one wing and your integration and disintegration points. Your wing is individual, but your integration and disintegration points are fixed. A type 9 takes on traits of an unhealthy 6 when in disintegration. They depart from their general avoidance and perceived peace of life to almost manic activity. They become distrustful of others, worried, rigid, overcommitted, and have a general sense of anxiety. In disintegration, 9s begin to perceive and present that the world isn't as peachy as they were letting on. They begin to pay more attention to the things they have shoved down for so long and start airing their grievances and complaints. An average 9 is generally slow to react, but in disintegration they become reactive. Hannah Posh likes to point out that we get information in disintegration. Dealing with things the 9 has been suppressing isn't actually bad, it's necessary and healthy. Slowly bring your torso up. Shift your weight to the left hip. Then bring your right leg out long in front of you. Bring the left foot to the inside of the right thigh. Sit up on a blanket if you are using one. Inhale, exhale, fold over the right leg. In security, a 9 takes on healthy tendencies of the 3, also called the winner. To make this move, 9s must define who they are and what they care about, as well as understanding that their needs and wants matter. In integration or security, 9s become more goal-oriented, self-confident, decisive, and in touch with their own wants and needs. It is in security that 9s actually become persons of peace and harmony, not just an image of what that looks like. They tend to take on more tasks and activities that they love. Posh says, passive, good-natured, just this side of lazy, 9s can suddenly take on positions of leadership they wouldn't have been caught dead in before. They believe that their presence and life matter. Gently bring the torso up. Let both legs go long in front of you. Plant the palms behind you and do the wiper motions with legs long or knees bent. Come to a kneeling seat. You may wish to have the pillow or bolster handy for this posture. I will demonstrate with the bolster. Place the bolster lengthwise a few inches behind your sits bones. Sit between your calves. Slowly begin leaning back. You can stay on your palms and still get a great hip stretch here, or move to your elbows, or lie all the way back. Another prop to use here could be a blanket between the mat and your knees for a little height and support. Arms can be in a cactus shape or down to your sides. If this does not feel great in your body, please come back up, use the props, and stay on the palms. One thing I love about the Enneagram is that there is so much movement within your type. There are your integration and disintegration points, your wing, but also your instinctual variant, which is the area we fixate on the most. There are 3 variants: self-preservation, sexual, and social. A self-preservation 9 can be identified by their indulgence of comfort. They will be able to make their space the most comfy. They will be perpetually searching for ways to make everything as comfortable as possible. Social 9s are the most common variant of 9s and what we think of when we hear the label Peacemaker. They are deeply invested in their immediate family and in conflict resolution or mitigating conflict altogether. They will go to great lengths to conform to the expectations of those around them. The last instinctual variant is the sexual 9s. This subtype finds a partner and then slowly morphs into that person. This 9 thinks they are just being a good partner, amicable even, but there will be a point when the self wishes to be seen, and generally a point when the other individual notices and doesn't appreciate this shadow. Using your hands, slowly come back up. Release the legs from under you and lay all the way back down onto your back. Flip over onto your stomach. Bring your elbows under your shoulders, then out an inch, palms flat on the ground. Imagine pushing away from the mat with your elbows and forearms. Keep moving your elbows forward if you're finding this to have too much sensation in the shoulders. You can keep your head in line with the spine, or let the chin fall to the chest for a nice stretch in the back of your neck. Another option is to bring a block, Papa Bear style, between your elbows and rest your head down. Relax your legs and your glutes. Each Enneagram type has 2 wing options that will further inform your personality. I discussed this in the introduction video if you haven't watched it yet. A type 9 can either be a 9 wing 8 or a 9 wing 1. A 9, the Peacemaker, seems incapable of having much in common with the 8, the Dragon. A 9 wing 8 has more access to anger and is able to express it more freely if they or others are threatened. Ian Cron emphasizes that the 9 wing 8 doesn't have access to anger like the 8, but access to additional anger for a 9. A 9 wing 8 has trouble making up their mind and will pick at the people they see as dramatic, inflammatory, or overly emotional. A 9 with a type 1 wing displays more focus and is able to accomplish more. They are more orderly, passive-aggressive, and introverted than a 9 wing 8. A 9 wing 1 prefers to stay in the background, to have an ethical, small, happy life. Wing the elbows out off the mat, resting your head on the back of your hands. Splay your right arm out long in a half T shape. Bring your left foot behind your right knee like a kickstand. Roll your body onto your right side, moving toward stacking your shoulders. You may wish to rest your head on a blanket. You can use your left hand as a support to gently press your chest away from the ground. It is generally suggested to not type children. Children are still growing into themselves and need the freedom to do so without being labeled. The discussion of Enneagram types and children here is for reflection purposes. Some Enneagram types really lend themselves to birth order theory as well, and this rings true for the peacemakers. It is likely that a peacemaker was a middle child. As children, they tend to feel overlooked, feeling like whatever they had to say was not as important or valued as those around them. The wounding message they heard was, "Your wants, opinions, desires, and presence don't matter much." Nines learned from a very early age to merge or morph into the people around them. Nines as kids were easygoing, sweet, harmonious, and joyful. Slowly roll onto your stomach. We're going to take this on the left now, so lay your left arm out to the side. Bring your right foot behind your left knee like a kickstand. Roll your body onto your left side. Maybe you aren't a 9, but you know or love one. Understanding the Enneagram helps us to love the people around us better by communicating to and interacting with them in the best way. I love Abby Howe's entire YouTube channel about the Enneagram, but I especially love what she has to say about how to love each type. She says even though 9s avoid conflict basically at all costs, that conflict can create intimacy. So, as a loved one of a 9, don't shy away from conflict because they will let you. Approach it gingerly and with the clear understanding that their voice matters. Don't call them lazy. This is a big deal for 9s. If you see your 9 dropping into sedentary behaviors, it may indicate an upset under the surface. Give them the space and safety to talk with you about this. Become an accountability partner to your 9 if you get permission. 9s can tend to let their dreams and wants slide for convenience and to avoid conflict. Ask your 9 to share some short or long-term goals and assist them in their dreams. Hold them accountable to their progress. Lastly, as we have discussed, the 9s can morph into those around them, which might be you. Encourage them to have their own interests and identity apart from yours. Roll over onto your stomach, all the way flat on your back. Let the left leg go long and hug the right knee into your chest. Let the right knee fall to the left side of your body. Shift the hips to allow the right knee to come as close to the ground as it can. Drape the right arm out long behind you. Bring a prop under the right knee if it is hovering off the ground. Your head can be turned any way. However, stretching to the right will provide a deeper neck stretch. Your Enneagram type will likely have an effect on how you view spirituality. Because our spirituality is so very broad, I speak here in generalities that I hope can be applied to a wide variety of faiths. 9s probably find activities like nature walks and counseling others easy to do. Practices that may help stretch and grow a 9 could be aspects of their spirituality that require discipline. A set apart time for reading, prayer, or meditation would help the 9 to commit to these activities. Being more studious with their spirituality could be an excellent space to grow as well, as nines may tend more towards the comforting aspects of their faiths. Bring the right leg back up. Stretch the right leg out long, bringing the left knee into the chest for a squeeze. Drag the left knee over to the right side for a twist. Scoot the hips over to allow the left knee plenty of space to reach towards the floor. Drape the left arm on the ground behind you. Self-care is extremely important for each person in our world. Depending on your Enneagram type, your self-care practices may look drastically different from someone else's. Take Care of Your Type by Christina S. Wilcox is an entire book dedicated to just this subject. Wilcox says it is important for nines to set up a specific time to not be disturbed. Alone time is necessary for nines, but they can have a hard time establishing it to themselves and to others. This could be a bit of time daily or weekly. Set it aside for you to do something special and keep the date. Another self-care tip is to develop a new habit or routine. Nines struggle with committing to new habits. They may find themselves fully into and committed to something only to taper off relatively quickly. Consider what new habits you would like to integrate into your life. Write them down, share them with someone if that feels comfortable, and commit to yourself the change. Bring the left leg back up. Squeeze both knees into your chest. Rock on up to a seat. Bring your mat or blanket to a wall. Position a side of your body up against the wall. Simultaneously, kick your feet up the wall and lower your torso to the ground. If this is uncomfortable, place a blanket or pillow under the lower back. If you find this is still uncomfortable, you can get all the benefits of this posture doing it up against a couch or chair, resting your calves on the couch. It is important once we learn about something to take it into our lives. Here are a few practical things to take off your mat and into your life. 9s. Spend some time researching or asking around to discover a task management system that can help you keep up momentum to the things that are important to you. This will feel uncomfortable, but recognize that comfort usually comes from our routine, and eventually this will feel more natural. Stay awake to the reality that you have a propensity to morph into your closest loved ones. You matter. Don't get lost here. Hold on to what you love and who you are. Read books or fill out a journal prompt notebook that can help you discover your true self. Lastly, ask yourself this question: what is my calling in life? Am I pursuing or postponing it to keep the peace? Slowly bring the soles of your feet to the wall and lower them down so your knees are resting on your chest. Feel the energy start moving around your legs. Roll onto your side. Make your way onto your back for Savasana. Before settling into our resting posture, check that you have released all tension. Let your feet rest where they want. Release any tightness in the thighs. Let your fingers curl in by your sides. Unclench the throat, jaw, eyes. Imagine the feeling of heavy resting on your body, resting on the mat. Here are a few mantras to repeat to yourself. You may wish to write them on Post-its, in your notes, or on a mirror. Remind yourself of these truths often. I have them written in the description. My life belongs to me. I follow through to the end. I am not another. I am present to the world around me. My presence matters. Mentally bring your awareness back into your relaxed body. Take note of the space around you. Engage your toes, your fingers, your ankles, your wrists. Roll onto your side. Keeping your eyelids closed, gently press up into a seat. If you aren't a 9, I hope you have discovered ways to love the 9s in your life. Beloved peacemakers, wallflowers, mediators, your opinions, voice, and feelings are important to our world. Your presence is important here. Please be brave and discover your true self. Please bring this person into our world. We so need your harmony and equanimity, but we need the truth, not a mirror image. Bring the palms of your hands together at your forehead. Deep inhale one last time. Open mouth, exhale. May all beings everywhere be happy and free, and may the thoughts, words, and actions of my own life contribute in some way to that happiness and to that freedom for all. Namaste.